Let me get to our guest here. I cannot believe it. I accidentally did. Do you have her number? Kimberly, please call us back, or you call him. I hit the. As a matter of fact, I just deleted 3 people at once here. Therefore, I will take my mulligan of the day, and I do apologize to her. I went in and the finger went at a wrong angle and deleted 3 people at one time. New survey said Americans no longer trust each other. The survey about trust has been conducted for many decades. In 1972, half of those surveyed said most people can be trusted. In 1972, most people can be trusted. Today, only 1/3 of Americans believe that is true. I gingerly go over here and cut Kimberly on. Kimberly, I hate to start things off by apologizing to you. Didn't mean to do that. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, doing good. First of all, Kimberly is the young lady from Oxford, in our hometown of Oxford, who's heading the drive to stop the Mississippi bullfight, the bloodless bullfight. We talked about this yesterday. And I think the last I saw, you were over 8,000 petitions on this thing. How much is it now? How many?
It's 8,500.
How many?
It's over 8,500 as of this morning.
All right. Tell me a little bit why you're doing this.
Sure. There's basically 2 reasons that I chose to make this petition. The first reason is that I don't think there is any sportsmanship in harassing and possibly harming a frightened animal. I think that this is a cruel and outdated practice, and I don't think it has any place in our modern society.
Yeah.
And the second reason is because this event is actually being held at a taxpayer-funded facility, so I wanted to give the people a platform to voice their opinions, because when you sign the petition, you can also leave a comment. I have downloaded all those comments.
Yeah, I saw the comments, and I read some of the comments. Many of those are coming from out of state and out of country, from animal rights activists, which, well, I understand, and they have a right to join in on that petition. Not that the petition is going to do anything, but I guess my question is, and I'm just curious about this. Why this particular event? I mean, is this just one in a long line of advocacies that you've taken up? Or why this specific event? Because, to be honest with you, and I'm not trying to be devil's advocate here, I don't see the difference between this and rodeo, let's say at the Coliseum or any state venue. What's the difference between this and bull riding?
Well, actually, as I just learned yesterday, it is probably illegal in the state according to Mississippi Code, the Fighting Animals Code. Mm-hmm. And I heard that the Department of Ag met with their legal team yesterday to go over it. And so if the state deems that it is illegal because it's fighting animals, it's not the same thing as the rodeo.
So you're saying that the Department of Agriculture with their legal team is undergoing this right now to find out if the event is illegal in the state under the current rules?
Yeah, that's what I learned yesterday.
That would be a very loose interpretation of fighting, wouldn't you think? I mean, you'd be fighting a bull if you're bull riding. In calf roping, are you against calf roping?
Well, that's up to their legal team, and according to the language of the law.
I'm just talking about you personally, Kimberly. When you decide to take this on and make this the biggest mission statement that you could possibly have in your advocacy to stop this bloodless bullfight. My other question on this one is this. Don't you think you could be doing more harm than good? Because, I mean, let's just say this caught on. And this is from an Hispanic gentleman who does put on rodeos and things such as that. And he's asked a lot of Hispanic people and people that want to come see this, and other people that want to come see it. If it caught on, it may maybe supplant, in the wildest of imaginations, of course, maybe supplant the bullfighting that harms bulls. So let's just say that it replaced that, and in some of the areas where they kill the bull, now they've decided they're growing bigger crowds, and the bull's not only not harmed, he's fed and fancied and cleaned and curried and everything else.
Well, bullfighting, bloodless or not, basically tells the same narrative of dominance over a beast, and I don't think that this is the kind of narrative that the large majority of Americans will be attracted to, and I think the 8,500 signatures is evidence of that. 3,500 of those are from within the United States.
Only 3,500 are from the United States?
Yeah.
That's it? You mean the vast majority of those are from overseas?
Well, a lot of them are from
So
Spain and
why
Mexico.
do we care what they think?
Well, I think what's interesting is to look at the comments from people from Mexico and Spain, because the current statistics show that 70% of Mexicans are against any form of bullfighting, and also in Spain, 71% of the citizens are also against bullfighting, and that's more of a government-sponsored event there.
Yeah, yeah.
And in the Catalonia region and in the Canary Islands in Spain, they've already banned bullfighting, and a city in Portugal has
Wait a
already
minute. Kimberly, you're walking into your own trap here. If 70% of people, and you say Mexicans, let's say in Latin America, decide that they don't like bullfighting, but it's still a venue where a lot of people attend that. As a matter of fact, it's still part of their culture, and if that's what they want to do in their culture, it's nothing for the United States to go down there and say that you can or cannot do that. In the same manner, nobody from Mexico should come here and tell us what the hell to do in this country. But if 70% of the people in Mexico are against this, boy, you are really screwing up big time, because maybe 70% of the people would accept bullfighting in the non-traditional way of a bloodless bullfight.
I guess we don't have data on that. We don't know. I mean, we'll find out when people start going to the event and how many go. But the only state that the bloodless bullfight is legal in is in California.
You said something that's very, very interesting, and crawling into the mind of someone who takes on these advocacies is always a dangerous thing to do. But you said something that no American, no living human being should show dominance over an animal. Explain that to me.
I don't recall saying that.
Well, no, you did say it. You said you don't think Americans would like that when we dominate over an animal.
Oh, yeah.
Explain that. I don't understand that.
Okay, so my purpose is really to get people to think about the way they view animals in general. Why do we love some and not others? Why do we have this sort of selective compassion? So this is actually more than just this bullfight to me. It's about how we use some animals as commodities for our personal use.
Mm-hmm.
And I want people to consider how this contradicts our instinctively compassionate human nature. So if you were to imagine that a different animal was used instead of a bull, so say maybe a horse, which I think is a pretty beloved animal in this country.
Well, wait a minute. Horses are ridden and bucked off, and horses take on the same demeanor as far as a sport as bull riding. So
a goat or some other sort of animal, just a different example other than a bull. I think it comes down to the mentality that only some animals matter, maybe only the two animals, the ones we see as pets. But, why do we have selective compassion? Because I think it contradicts our instinctively compassionate human nature for all animals.
Well, I don't disagree, because we are kind of a fickle. We don't look at a rat and a squirrel in the same manner because the bushy tail sets them apart. So, I mean, that says that there. But let me go back to this. Do you believe, are you a religious person?
I am extremely spiritual.
Does that mean as far as a God or your Mother Earth, or when you say spiritual, are you a religious person?
I believe in a creator.
Do you think animals have souls?
I do.
So you believe animals go to heaven or hell?
I don't believe in a hell, but yes, I think all souls.
So no matter how bad you are, and no matter how you can only go to heaven, you can't go to hell.
That's what I believe.
So when we kill an animal, we are committing a sin?
Well, I'm not a Christian, so I don't believe or understand the concept of.
So you don't believe in Jesus, but you believe in some being that's a greater being out there that created.
Well, I do. This? I don't know what you mean. Believe in Jesus. I absolutely believe in Jesus.
Well, then Jesus would be, you would have him, you and your kind would have, and I say your kind, people who follow along with your advocacy would have him locked up.
From what I know, Jesus, he taught love and compassion for all of life.
Well, yeah, but I mean, there were limits even to him. Whether it's the money changers or there were limits and anger that's written in the New Testament. I mean, come on. I mean, when you say this, that animals have souls, but they were put here for our use. Now, I agree. We all have a responsibility to do that humanely. But when you talk about your advocacy of stopping a bloodless bullfight with a matador, it's a beautiful thing. It's a work of art. It's communication with the animal, and they're not being hurt. And if people understand this and enjoy this, especially if their culture, they grew up with this, that's a whole different thing. And you have an advocacy. You're spending all of your time and energy on this, and many people just do not understand it.
Well, so regarding the cultural heritage aspect, I think that what history has shown is that a society evolves, cultures change, as do values and traditions need to be reevaluated regularly.
Wait a minute. Kimberly, you're wrong about this. You're absolutely wrong about this, and I don't know where you're getting your education. I really don't. Because if you look at where we were 30, 40, 50, 100 years ago, 200 years ago, we're more humane now than ever before in producing, in harvesting, everything else. Even as a hunter, when we go out there, the number one thing, if nobody mirrors Native Americans more than the conservatives who are out there and good sportsmen and good women, because we don't want an animal to suffer. We want to make sure that animal is harvested in the most humane way possible. So I think you find more of that today than you did 40, 50, 100 years ago.
Well, that's exactly what I'm saying. We are evolving socially, morally, ethically. We are in the process of that.
So if we evolve out of that to be vegans such as you, then we've reached that utopia that you would like to see us all arrive at.
That's an interesting point. I certainly would love to see a world that is peaceful for all of life. I don't see how we could not be benefited by that.
You ever watch the Animal Channel?
The Animal Planet?
Well, Animal Planet's great. I mean, the photography there is just unbelievable. You ever watched a lion chewing on the rear thigh of the thighs of an animal while it's still living, eating it alive?
Can we stay on message and keep talking about the bullfight?
Well, I'm just saying, when you look at humans, we are. Hey, look, if I'm a wildebeest out there, put me out of my misery with one clean shot, instead of being chewed on alive by a pack of wolves. So, I mean, this exists in nature. And let's go back to message. Message is this bullfighting deal. Where do you think this is going to have the final analysis, because it's this weekend? And you've given it more attention and publicity than it probably would have ever gotten before.
Yeah, exactly. And, I want people to decide for themselves. I just wanted to put the information out there so that they could understand the issue from my point of view.
Yep.
And, of course, everyone has their own opinions, and there's a whole spectrum of beliefs around this issue, but I just thought that I wanted to voice my opinion.
Well, and I think you've done a great job. And listen, I admire you for that, because when you get into these advocacies, sometimes you're not going to find people, certainly you're not going to feel kind of like talk radio. You're not going to feel, everybody's not going to agree with you. Did you always have this as a young person, or did you kind of just gradually get into this advocacy, the vegan and the animal stance later in life, or was this something always a part of you?
My compassion was always a part of me, but I feel like part of it was buried. I only became vegan in January of this year, but I haven't been that long.
Oh, really? So
yeah.
you're not even a full year as a vegan.
Yeah, actually, so I saw this film last year called Earthlings, or you can go watch it online, earthlings.com, and it just changed my whole...
Well, it's even worse for you around the holidays because of the turkey and all of that, and I admire you for sticking with it. Because the other thing is, you talking about some great places to eat for hamburgers and barbecue. Oxford is just fabulous. Oh, sizzling steak. How can you turn that down? Kimberly, thank you, ma'am. Appreciate it, and we will keep up with all that you're doing. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
You got it. Kimberly Spiegel.